Hello everyone, I'm Greg Funderburg and I'll be your host on this magical journey in partnership with ArtsBuild called Imagine. Through Imagine, we will introduce you to the arts through performances and exhibits through a whole bunch of cool local arts organizations right here in Chattanooga and also Hamilton County. In each of these videos, you'll get an opportunity to see an inside and behind the scenes look at all of these wonderful arts organizations, from visual art, music, dance, theater, and more, so you can experience them like never before. Today we'll be exploring the Chattanooga Theater Center, founded in 1923 as the Little Theater of Chattanooga. The Chattanooga Theater Center is one of the oldest, largest, and busiest community theaters in the country. There are 15 productions per year seen by audiences of more than 50,000 people, represent theatrical experiences of the highest caliber. So come along with us as we experience the arts here in our community. Hey guys, I'm here at the Chattanooga Theater Center, and guess what? The Director of Production, Scott Dunlap, is about to show us around. Hey Scott, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I am doing well, so happy to be here at the Theater Center.
Welcome.
So first off, tell us a little bit about the Chattanooga Theater Center.
Well, the Chattanooga Theater Center has actually been in operation since 1923, hard to believe, and we've had a youth theater program since 1983.
Wow, so what kind of shows do you guys do here?
We do lots of shows. We do shows for families, shows for adults, but we also have a youth theater program that caters especially to kids.
So Scott, let's go inside and get our tickets.
Great, let's do it.
Thanks so much. So if I were your teacher, the first thing I would do is go to the box office to check in. So now we're going to check in with Katie here to get our tickets. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're so excited about the show.
Good. Awesome. You're all good to go.
Thank you so much. And now we're going to go to an usher to see where we're going to sit. So now we're going to find our seats with the usher here at the Chattanooga Theater Center. Hey Chuck, how's it going?
Follow me.
Okay.
I'm going to take you down here. This is our main stage auditorium. It's our big theater. We also have a small one called the Circle Theater. In this one, we actually sit in rows like this. In the Circle Theater, we have chairs, but we also have kids sitting on the carpet squares. So follow me down this way.
All right, Scott, let's take a seat. Finally inside the theater. So for the audience, how do they really know the show is about to start?
Well, sometimes we have music playing and that will dim down. We also dim our lights so that you know everything's about to start. It's important when that happens though that you stay quiet.
So Scott, another good question is, what should we do when the performance is getting started?
Well, actually, the most important thing is to enjoy yourself. You can laugh, you can clap. If something amuses you, it's totally okay to respond, but you don't want to talk to each other. You want to be respectful of the actors that are on stage, but still enjoy yourself. It's important that the actors on stage know that you're here and that you like what they're doing.
That is so true. So Scott, you know, midway through a performance, we normally have our intermission, but sometimes some shows don't have intermissions.
That's right. In the youth theater, a lot of times our shows are just an hour long, so there's not really a reason to take an intermission. But occasionally we will do a show that's a little longer, and what the intermission is a chance for you to get up, stretch your legs, get some water, and go to the restroom before the next half of the show.
And how do you know the next half is about to start?
We will dim the lights again, which is your warning to sit down and be quiet.
Sounds good. You know, when I think about the theater, what is the most exciting part for you?
The most exciting thing for me is to watch an audience's response to all the hard work that the kids have done to put this together. I think it's important that the kids on stage and the actors on stage are proud of their work, but getting to share that with an audience is the most important part of theater.
And earlier you talked to us about the importance of not talking during the performance. How can that be distracting to the actors on stage?
Well, the way it can be distracting is your job as an audience is to enjoy it and to provide us feedback. It's really important that we know you're there and that you're liking it, but you can say something that might trip another actor up because they're not expecting it.
And also, you know, the other part about it is a lot of kids have cell phones these days. and it's so important not to take photos during the performance as well.
Absolutely, no photos, and turn it off, no texting or using the phone during the show.
So Scott, tell us, what's the difference between a movie and a play?
That's a really good question. A movie has lots of fantastical creatures. There's a lot of action. There's people talking to each other, but they can't hear you. And in a play, we have the same thing. Lots of fantastical creatures, people talking back and forth, but they're totally aware of you being there. They know that you're sitting there watching and they can hear you.
So I've always wanted to know this. What are the actors and crew doing behind the curtain during the intermission?
There's lots of things happening. Sometimes we have costume changes happening. They will reset a set piece or sometimes completely change the whole thing behind the curtain. We use the curtain so that it's not a distraction to you while it's happening. Sometimes we do change the scenery right in front of your very eyes.
What happens if someone forgets their line?
Well, that's a very good question. It happens a lot, surprisingly, even people who know their lines really, really well. Sometimes you get nervous and you forget, or something happens that's a little bit different and you weren't expecting it. So you have to keep going. You have to wing it. You have to pretend that you know what's happening next. And a lot of times another person will save you and ask you a question or feed you your line in a way that gets you back on track.
So what if some of my friends watching would like to participate in your next production?
Oh, that's great. If you want to participate, we have auditions for anyone. Anyone can audition. It's free to audition. And auditions are only limited to 4th grade and up. So it's important that you're a 4th grader. There's a lot of reasons for that involve either being able to be dressed by yourself or learn the blocking or make sure that you're being safe backstage. So we do have some safety protocols that it's important that you're at least in 4th grade.
When you talk about blocking, for people who don't know, tell us what that is.
Blocking is where we all decide this is where we're going to go and when we're going to go. It's a way to keep it so that everybody knows what's supposed to happen on stage. So if I want someone to cross across the stage on a certain line, we'll do all of that in rehearsal and we'll let them know this is where you're going to move on that line. That way they don't trip each other up or run into each other.
How much rehearsal really goes into a production before we get to opening night?
Well, we actually rehearse 4 days a week for 2 hours a day after school. So it's quite a bit of rehearsal, and that usually lasts 6 to 8 weeks depending on the show. Something like The Lion King, where there's a lot of music, we spend a lot more time because we have to learn songs and dances as well.
How hard is it to learn the songs, the dances, before you get to that opening show?
It depends on the show. For Lion King, the dancing was probably more complicated. The songs, almost everybody already knew that going in, so that didn't take as much work. But for this show, there are a lot of different songs that aren't in the movie, so people had to learn new lyrics. There's 9 different African languages that are used during the play, so they even had to learn to sing in a different language.
So, educational purposes, kids that come out to audition for a show, they can learn so much and it's so valuable to their education.
Absolutely. You learn all sorts of things about how to work together as a team and also how to be independent. It's really important that even though we have a lot of rehearsal, you have to work on your own a lot to make sure that you're ready for those rehearsals. So you have to learn all your lines before you come to rehearsal. You have to work on your dance steps at home or singing in the car. Whatever works to get you there, you have to practice outside of those rehearsals.
So I have to ask you, what is the difference between a matinee performance and an evening performance?
That's a good question. A matinee performance is a performance that happens during the day, and an evening performance is a normal performance that we would have usually about 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
So Scott, what should the audience be doing when it comes time for the curtain call?
Show your appreciation. You can clap, you can woo, whatever you feel like doing.
And when you get to an end of a show, what is it like for you and the entire cast?
It's usually a big relief. For us, as far as the cast, they go out and they actually get to greet the kids as they leave, which is really, really fun. Something that we don't do for public shows, and that's only for school shows. And so they get to say goodbye to the kids and thank them for coming. But oftentimes, if we have 2 shows in a day, we're gearing up to do the very next one and we start all over again.
Wow. Scott, thank you so much for showing us behind the scenes here at the Theater Center.
Thank you for coming.
You know what? It has been a great experience for me, and I'm so glad you were able to give some inside information to all of my friends watching today.
Hey guys, on behalf of the Chattanooga Theater Center, it's been a pleasure meeting you, and we hope to see you again at the Chattanooga Theater Center at our next performance.
What a great trip we took today. Be sure to share your journey today with your friends and family and join us right here next time for an exciting local arts adventure.